Greetings, it is I, Dreadscape Gaming. How are all of you doing, Dread Knights, on this Tuesday? Happy St. Patrick's Day before anything else. We're actually doing a movie watch-along today. I haven't done one of these in a while, because remember, I used to do a lot of these back in the day. About a year ago, I was doing a lot of these movie watch-alongs where we were just, like, watching the movie, and I basically used my film degree and break down basically some of the lighting techniques, the sound techniques, cinematography techniques, kind of like basically watching a film class for all intents and purposes. So today's movie that we're going to be watching, since it is St. Patrick's Day, is the 1993 horror classic, comedy classic, I should mention, Leprechaun. Now, Leprechaun is one of those movies that whenever it's on the Sci-Fi Channel, I have the guilty pleasure that I watch it even with the commercials. We're not going to be watching it with commercials today. Instead, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be watching it on one of the streaming services. It's available on Peacock, for those of you who are wondering. It's also available on, if I'm not mistaken, Amazon Prime, as well as it used to be on HBO Max. I will be watching my DVD version, because I don't like commercials, and I'm one of those old school people that has, like, DVDs and Blu-ray, so I'm going to be watching it off the television screen. So if you do watch on one of those streaming services that has commercials, you're probably going to be out of sync with me. However, if you're one of those people that has, like, the no-ad versions, you should be perfectly fine. As a reminder for people who are coming in or people who are watching me concurrently, I cannot legally stream the movie. I can only stream my reactions to the movie. So you have to have it queued up on your end. It's very, very, very important, because I know people will come in and be like, why the hell aren't you showing the movie? Why the hell aren't you? So I'm just letting you know ahead of time, Dread Knights. You know, it's good to see all of you. You know, if you want, crack open a cold one. I don't have, unfortunately, a cold one that I can crack open, so I'm going to be drinking nice H2O water. We're going to be counting down in a couple of seconds. Just as a reminder, this movie is an hour and 31 minutes. So make sure you have like an hour and 31 minutes of your time. On top of that, what else can I particularly say about this movie? We're going to be starting at the 1 second mark, so you're going to see, if you have the version that I have, which is the Blu-ray, the Lionsgate, like, little gears, you should see, like, that on your screen. So keep that in mind, Dread Knights, okay? So, again, I cannot show the movie. With that being said, I'm going to count down to 10. So let's get into this. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press play. Alright, we are treated to, as I mentioned before, the gears of the Lionsgate Pictures, because a lot of people that don't know, this used to be owned by an old, like, film studio, and then Miramax bought it, and then Miramax got bought out by Lionsgate, so now Lionsgate basically owns the rights to the Leprechaun movies. Alright, right off the beginning, we see the Leprechaun. He's coming down. You see how the light is shining towards the left-hand side. That's probably done with a DMI light. That's to simulate that there's a little bit of sunlight coming in. There might have been a little bit of a blue gel. As you can hear, the music is very intense at the moment, kind of mystical, kind of whimsy. Here, we're seeing the shot of the Leprechaun messing with his gold in his hands. Nice little lighting there, rainbow effect, showing that there's like a rainbow pointing to the gold. That would have been done again with like gels that you can put over specific film lights. That's a nice little thing. Trimark Pictures, that was the name of the movie originally. Trimark Pictures presents. So we have a guy here, and he's driving. Looks like he's in a very, very fast-paced. We have Mark Jones film. Mark Jones is not really famous for any particular films. I'm going to loud the movie up on my side a little bit, just because it's a little bit low. I also want to double-check that I don't have the desktop audio being played, because if not, that'll get me into trouble with DMCA. Okay, so we see the car popping into the set. There we get the Leprechaun title. Good old, like, Irish type of title font there. Nice. Again, you hear the music is picking up, the escalation. We see the car driving into the shot. That's a nice shot. We see The guy stepping out with his white pants, so you know he's got to have some type of money. In fact, he's in a white suit and he's drinking, believe it or not, a bottle of Jameson. It's funny. And they did actually pay for the license there, because anytime you use anything like alcohol, Coca-Cola, or anything in a film, you have to actually pay the license holders to be able to use it. Jennifer Aniston is in this movie, believe it or not. This is her first role that she ever had. So Grady is greeting his wife, and he seems very happy. His eyes are wide. That's to imply, again, that he's very happy. Again, in film and cinema, it's show, don't tell. Oh. He's talking about mansions. His wife is frowning. That's to imply that she's confused without saying, I'm confused. No money. He's got a chauffeur now, man. That's freaking cool. I wish I had one of those. I wish I had a chauffeur. Tread doesn't make enough money to be able to do that. On the porch where you left it. Ooh, don't touch it. Yeah, she's so confused. Her eyes are wide, again, to imply that she's confused, baffled as to what's going on. There, a nice little lighting, simulating the incandescent light from the light. That would have been done, again, with a light on the side and an orange gel to simulate that. Because this is before, really, they used in movies and cinema color correction, so everything was done usually with light gels. Oh, look at this. The shadows. Nice little scrims being to separate the two. Bury the mother. I like that they shine in the eyes of the lights, but it's giving it away a little bit, because if you look at her eyes very carefully, you can see the film lights there. Oh, look, it's an urn. Look at him. His eyes are white, too. He's very, very excited, as you can tell. Again, show, don't tell. He has gold. Look at this. Where do you think he got these doubloons? Look at that. A whole bunch of gold. Not just a little bit. Pot of gold. A wee person. He's talking about leprechauns. Do you think he actually has a leprechaun? Show where the gold is. Where's the gold? So he forced the leprechaun to show him his gold? How did he do that, dude? The wife doesn't believe him. Oh, lightning all of a sudden, setting up something eerie, perhaps? Maybe a little bit of foreshadowing? Nice hot tea? I don't know about that. I don't know, Dread Knights. You want a nice little hot tea there? Again, she's shaking her head disbelief. You'll notice the lighting then, again, there. They're simulating a lightning effect. Honestly, you just use a switchboard to be able to do that if you want to do it on the cheap. You just have like a little switcher and you flash the dims on and off real quickly. Executive producer Mark Amin, who was the executive producer for a lot of these films in particular. Wasn't just one film that he was a... She's hearing a little girl crying. We see the suitcases. We hear something kind of eerie. It's like an echoing sound. She's saying something. What could it be? Mary had a little lamb. She's singing a nursery rhyme. Is she actually in the suitcase there, perhaps? The wife is looking puzzled, frowning, again, to imply that she's confused, bewildered, befuddled. Again, don't show, to tell. It's show, don't tell, as the movie rule goes. Opening the suitcase here. Notice, what I like is there's a lot of fast cuts. You don't see that too often in films anymore. Sometimes films have a tendency to holding the shot too long. Here, it's just kind of nice. She opened the suitcase. There's something moving. We see eyes peering out, and they're red, glaring eyes. Notice the music is picking up. It's turned from whimsical to sinister. And we see the leprechaun from the feet down, and he's pushing the lady. Uh-oh. She fell down the stairs. I don't think she's going to recover from that. I think she got a broken neck. Notice again, we haven't seen the leprechaun just yet. We've seen him from the waist down. Not giving away too much because they kind of want to give a little bit of mystery behind the killer, the leprechaun itself. We're only seeing his feet. And notice how we're seeing him again, just shadowy. We aren't actually seeing his face. That's a nice shot too, because what they have is they have the DMI positioned a little bit above the staircase. And then on top of that, they have like a little bit of flags and stuff. Notice there with the lightning shot again. You see a little bit more of the leprechaun's face, but it's not completely being revealed to the person. That's the really good thing about older horror films. Like, they don't really show the killer or the monster until much, much later in the film, because they don't give it away, like, super quickly. Like, you know how some of the newer Friday the 13th films, we see Jason from the very beginning? Oh, look at this. We see the leprechaun here. Again, a little bit shadowed. Again, not seeing the whole face. Notice the guy is staring there. O'Grady, he's very, very confused, shocked. How did he get out? He automatically knows that the wife is in trouble. Uh-oh, poor lass. One thing I will say, when it comes to the Leprechaun movies, if you did not if Warwick Davis, who's the one who plays the title character, the Leprechaun, wasn't the one doing these films, it probably would have never blown up because he's what truly makes the role. Warwick Davis, for a lot of people who don't know, was Willow in that Disney film. On top of that, hold that thought. Notice how he's holding a four-leaf clover, and the Leprechaun is very afraid. He's backing away, so I guess that might be a plot device that perhaps we'll see later in the film. Oh, O'Grady's shooting at the Leprechaun. The Leprechaun is evading. He's giving a little bit of whimsical rhymes. Notice again the tension, the escalation of the music again to imply that there's heightened suspense, heightened stakes for everything that is going on concurrently. Looking for something. What is he looking for? Oh, look, he revealed the wife is dead. Notice O'Grady's not really super upset about his wife dying. He's more about trying to contain the Leprechaun here. Uh-oh, he's playing mind games with him. Something that the Leprechaun is very infamous for doing, Dread Knights. Give me the gold. I want me gold, right? More than gold. He's shooting him. He's shooting him. Did he get him? I don't know. Okay, notice the Leprechaun saying bullets won't stop him. He'll keep coming back, so he's implying that he's going to go for revenge here. Uh-oh. He's putting the Leprechaun in the crate. I wonder how he was able to subdue him with bullets and just the four-leaf clover. They never really explain that, even in the film itself. Okay, produced by Jeffrey B. Melian. And this is all just in the beginning of the film, Dread Knights. Keep that in mind. Written and directed by Mark Jones. He's going to put the Leprechaun in a crate here. He's got a whole bunch of things. He was prepared. He had a contingency plan. He's holding the four-leaf clover there. Okay, so we finally got a plot device here. The four-leaf clover apparently is able to keep the Leprechaun at bay. Maybe it has, like, the Luck of the Iris magical powers that's able to kind of counteract the Leprechaun's powers. So he's sealing the crate here with the hammer. Notice the music again. Rising tensions, rising escalations. Look at O'Grady's hands. They're sweating. That's implying maybe that he has something wrong with him currently. Notice also the Leprechaun saying, oh, if you keep acting up right now, you're going to have, like, heart problems. All these things, kind of like foreshadowing. He's pouring gasoline. Was it going to burn him? Notice the music again. One thing I will like is that the Leprechaun is in the crate, but there's this little echo sound effect. Kind of like a little bit of auto-tune going on. Ooh, look, O'Grady's dragging his wife. It looks like he was really intent in burning down. Notice again, the Leprechaun is saying, I curse thee. You traded my gold for your soul. So he's putting a curse on him. I don't know if he's killing him. He's trying to make a bargain with him. Look at O'Grady again. Notice he's sweating. He's perspiring. Oh, notice he's grabbing now at his arm. Looks like he might have a heart attack or maybe potentially has a stroke that happened right now. Notice he's trying to light the match just so he can set the house on fire. This is perhaps the consequences of his actions. Oh, he's going to throw the match. Notice his face is even more sweaty. That's to imply that the heart condition is catching up with him. And notice that the match went out and he just passes out. His arms are twitching, that to imply that he had a heart attack. Uh-oh. Could also potentially be a stroke, though. We can't really jump to conclusions, right, Dread Knights? Notice the Leprechaun, however, can't get out of the crate because the four-leaf clover is placed. Notice the whimsical music again, picking up the escalation. Noticing how it dissipates the music. It's starting to slowly fade away a little bit more. That's to imply that maybe the threat, for now, at the moment, is over. Okay, and we cut to Mountain Valley. 10 years later, as it says. On that joy, we have this nice little, like, country western music. We see a red Jeep. That's a nice wide shot. You usually do that when you want to convey, like, landscapes and stuff. Notice the car. I like the fact that the wide shot also has the camera kind of, like, rotating, which is kind of a little nice nuance. Notice also the camera's trucking towards the left, which is kind of a weird technique when you think of the cars driving towards the right side of the screen. You would figure you want to truck it to the right. Okay, notice that shot? It was kind of cool that they did it, where it's a wide shot, and it's kind of like if we're looking at the car from the over-the-shoulder perspective, and then drives out, and we see, again, the wide landscape. Now, notice who is talking right now? That's Jennifer Aniston. Jennifer Aniston from Friends, and obviously various different movies that she did. This is her very first role. That's a Jeep Van Cherokee, if I remember correctly. That was like a very popular Jeep in the 90s. Like everybody that was like a Jeep owner, this was before even SUVs were a thing. That's what everybody was was driving around. A Jeep Van Cherokee. All right, look at Jennifer Aniston. She looks a little bit different in this movie. I don't want to say that maybe she had some work done, but potentially Aniston had some facial work done, potentially maybe a nose job. Um, Notice that she's very upset because the father's like revealing this grand house and it's a broken down house, and she, as we can kind of already tell, just the way that she's dressed, the handbag that she has, the shoes that she has, the glasses, you can kind of tell that she's like from Southern California or California. You know, she's like a little bit of a prima donna. Notice what she's saying. There's no shopping. There's no pool here. There's no cable. Notice the house. It's all run down. It's like boarded up in disarray. Do you think perhaps this is, again, foreshadowing to something else that's potentially happening? Again, sarcasm there. Notice also they kind of did a very low shot at Jennifer Aniston's legs there. You know, the directors kind of were being a little bit pervy there. We see a tarantula walking over a crate. That is already implying that that is the crate, and this is the same house from the very beginning of the movie. Again, show, don't tell is the movie rule. So you don't tell things, you show people that. You get them thinking. You get them plotting. You get the gears turning in the head. You never say, I am sad in a movie. You show it with tears. You show it with expressions. I am happy. You don't do that in a movie. You show the smile. You show the eyes getting wider. Case in point here. Notice how Jennifer Aniston is walking very slowly down the stairs. That's to imply that she's creeped out. She's unsettled. She's a little bit nervous about this whole house and the change of her lifestyle. Notice the dad's hand movements, his body expressions. It's a little bit more exciting. He's trying to sell her on it without saying it. Jennifer Aniston there bumps into the cobwebs. Her eyes get wide. She throws her hands up. She's implying she's disgusted without really saying that. I'm disgusted in the scene. This is very important for filmmaking. All these little nuances. Again, very nice effect here. Notice how when it's on the dad, he's on the side where there's very little lighting, so you notice that there's more shadows and very little of the white light is shining through. Notice on Jennifer Aniston's side, there's the window on the right-hand corner that's with probably a DMI that's shining through, or incandescent light, so that it's simulating sunlight. Notice the tarantula moving there. Her eyes go wide. Notice she doesn't say, I'm scared of the spider. She's just like, have you seen that thing? Look at her again, her eyes, her facial expressions. Notice she's gritting her teeth. That's to imply that she's frustrated. Again, very, very good acting on Jennifer Aniston's part. This was one of her very first roles, but you could tell from very early on, even with the script that she has to work with, that she's very, very well versed in her acting. She wants to make a reservation. She's talking on a phone. Look at her cell phone. That's an old school cell phone back in the 90s, not like the ones we have now with touchscreen. She bumped into this very rugged, handsome guy that had paint. Again, maybe implying painter. Oh, she's giving him a 20 for spilling over the paint. Look at him. He's shaking his head, and he's kind of giving her a bit of a sneer. That's to kind of imply that he's not very happy with her actions. Look at this again. Look at his haircut. His haircut's like straight out of like the 70s. People in the 90s didn't have that type of haircut. Aniston's haircut is spot on, though. Look, she keeps giving him money, and he doesn't want money. He's just walking towards her. The Grady place, yes. Let's see what is going to happen here, Dreadites. He's laughing. See, he's kind of mocking her. Oh, see? Now he's mocking her. He's mocking her and being a girl. This is a little bit male chauvinist, I will agree with that. Just for that, but he's kind of trying to play mind games on her. Probably get her to stay. Maybe he has some ulterior motives. Maybe he sees that she's a real cutie and stuff. His name isn't Buddy. I'm not your buddy, pal. Notice he said that? Oh. Look. She's shaking her head. She's raising her eyes. She's smirking a little bit. They're kind of flirting with each other, Dreadites. Uh-oh. And notice how immediately the flirting stops once the dad walks out of the house. Oh, look. The dad's ready to move out of the house. He knows that she doesn't like it. Oh, look, the mind games with the painter dude worked. She's like, no, put the stuff back in. Look. And she's looking at the dude. She wants to prove a point. She wants to prove the point that she's not the prima donna. I don't know if that's really going to work out, but notice he's smiling. He has a crush on her. You can always tell when a guy has a crush on a woman, because he'll always give them a hard time. Always will give them a little bit of a hard time, but not do it in a way that's like super mean. Oh, it's Ozzy! I know I'm spoiling this, but he's one of the most popular characters in the film. He's also a recurring character in one of the films. Oh, look at the way he's dressed. That's kind of very important. He's got the overalls. Notice that he's got like paint things, and notice how he's talking and his mannerisms. That's to imply that I don't know how it's the most politically correct way to say it in this day and age. He's on the spectrum. You can kind of tell just based on the way he's acting, the way he's talking, just the way his face is. Again, show don't tell. They never do say in the movie that he's on the spectrum, but it's implied. Oh, notice the kid? Look at the way he's dressed. He has on a shirt that's very reminiscent of Child's Play, the first one, Chucky. Notice Chucky had that similar shirt that was underneath the overalls. That's kind of a little bit of a homage that they kind of threw in there. Notice the hat that the kid has on right now? SF? That's the San Francisco 49ers hat. So we know without them ever telling us that this takes place in San Francisco, California. Look at the truck. The truck also has a whole bunch of paint on it. Notice Ozzy here with the overalls. He's all messed up too. So these are not exactly the most fancy painters on the planet. You can kind of tell that maybe they're very, very indie painters. If you hear any noise in the background, please pardon. I live in a very noisy city, NYC, so from time to time you will hear noise in the background. I apologize for that. I cannot control the city, and today is St. Patrick's Day, so a lot of people are acting up. All right. Cut back to Jennifer Aniston. She's walking down the stairs towards the basement yet again. Notice the music is kind of picking up. It's a little bit kind of mystical, whimsical. Notice that she's looking around. That's to imply that she's a little bit nervous, a little bit scared. She doesn't like to be in this basement whatsoever. Again, show, don't tell the audience what is happening. Okay, notice that we got a cut of the Leprechaun. Apparently the Leprechaun isn't dead. He's still inside the crate and has just been sleeping. So apparently he is able to hibernate for whatever purposes. Oh, notice that the jump scare that we had with the painter's rag, it dropped down. Notice the Leprechaun finally woke up from his slumber. Uh-oh. Now we have the painter dude. Oh, she was trying to make a peace offering. Notice that she's flicking her hair. Again, when women and guys flick their hair, it's a way usually of them trying to imply attraction and try to, like, woo a person. So that's kind of a nice little subtle nuance that they did in the film because she's really trying to impress them and kind of, like, I guess, court him, you could say. Again, he found something that was O'Grady's diary, excuse me. So he's looking through stuff. Notice, again, the music is kind of picking up. He's got the crate. He wants to open the crate, which is probably a bad idea because that would unearth the Leprechaun. Oh, look, she's asking for a crowbar. Is this a wise decision? We'll see. He gave her a hammer. Uh-oh. We hear screaming. Up. Jump scare, so the crate didn't get open. They were spared from the tyranny of the Leprechaun here. Uh-oh. Ozzy apparently got painted right now. Again, look at how they're painting. Look at they're not very good painters. Look at it. We got the red streak and we got the blue streak, but the red streak is not completely on, and that doesn't look like it's painter's tape whatsoever. Okay, notice Jennifer Aniston's face again. She's kind of got a little bit of a stern look. She's trying not to make fun of him. Maybe she's familiar that he is particularly on the spectrum there. Okay, cut back to the Leprechaun. The Leprechaun is fully awake. We see him shifting his eyes. This is to imply that perhaps this is an opportunity to maybe finally escape this crate after 10 years. He's perhaps plotting something whimsical, misty. Uh-oh, look again, coming back full circle. We hear the sound of a little girl, perhaps. Notice it's the same girl voice that he was using in the beginning of the film to lure the wife of O'Grady. Very nice little nuance there again, kind of coming full circle. Notice the music, it's starting a little bit more eerie, kind of to imply that Ozzy is a little bit puzzled as to what's going on. He's not sure if he's hearing actual people, again, who's in there. Not saying, hey, I'm confused. He's kind of implying with his vocal tone, his body language. The music itself is kind of heightening that sense as well. Ozzy looks like he's going down the stairs very, very shortly. Okay, he's going a little bit quickly, so it's not so much that he's moving out of fear that's being implied, more so that he's moving out of curiosity. And because what we know already about Ozzy, that he's on the autism spectrum, clearly as a character, He's got, like, childlike enthusiasm, so he's gonna be more curious, puzzled, have wonderment, as opposed to being afraid or a little bit confused like some of the Earth people would be. Now we hear the girl saying, "Please let me out of the crate!" Uh-oh. See, and because he is obviously on the spectrum, he's not gonna know any better, you know? Again, show don't tell. He's innocent, pure of heart, childlike in a way. He knocked over the four-leaf clover. Notice that's probably gonna come back to be a plot point. So keep that in mind. Uh-oh. He put his ear to the crate. That's not good. Oh, the leprechaun jump scare. Hand popped out that. That's pretty cool. That basically is loose wood boards that they put on the crate so that the person who's the stunt double can just break through it very quickly and easily. Notice again, we're not really seeing full leprechaun's face. We're kind of seeing him shadowy. Oh, look, he picked up an insect and he eats it. Notice they did a quick cutaway. They showed him grab it and then they show him putting it in the mouth. That, again, is to just kind of imply, you know, they weren't going to have Warwick Davis eat some type of prop there in that particular. This is the 90s, so what they do is they kind of fake it, but it's kind of not the best of shots. Uh-oh. Look at that. He's selling them on the leprechaun. Look at the buckles. Look at my outfit. I'm a shoemaker. Notice also that the leprechaun has a whole bunch of cobwebs on him. That's also to imply, obviously, in the crate, that, like, spiders and stuff were in there. Perhaps the tarantulas that we saw. That's a very, very good technique as well. Look at Ozzy. Again, his eyes are wide. Again, to imply fear. He's confused, puzzled. Notice his mouth is opening wide. Looks like he's about to cry, to imply that he's scared. He runs away. Ozzy's running away. The leprechaun's trying to get close the door on him. He shuts it. Notice we had a little bit of magical effect. That's like animated. Little thing. Rotoscoped. This is back when they used to do rotoscoping. The leprechaun said his power is weak because he doesn't have his gold, so he's not at his full strength now. That's the only reason Ozzy was able to... Ozzy is screaming that there's a leprechaun in the basement, and everybody's just looking at him, super confused. Look at his face. Now look at the face of the painter dude, as well as Jennifer Aniston's face, as well as the kid. Everybody's looking at him, like, in disbelief that they don't believe him without saying that they don't believe him. Again, look at the conversation that's going. He's being sarcastic, the little kid. Where's the pot of gold? And he's wide-eyed. He's trying to tell them it's just the truth. So he's confused. He's gonna go check. They're all going to the basement to see if the leprechaun's there. He's trying to tell them not to go in there. Why is he picking up a stick? Okay, he's picking up a stick to kind of humor him. Jennifer Aniston wants to go with him. Just in case. Notice that she really likes him. Because notice she's, like, getting very touchy-feely with him. Look at that. They bumped into each other, too. Again, that's to kind of imply that they're starting to get very close together. That they're being... I don't know, flirtatious, romantic, maybe potentially a blooming relationship. He's blaming him from the crate being busted. Notice again as they go down the stairs that the lighting has changed because of the angle that they're in. We have to change the position of the window light, right? So now we have to put it where the light is shining going from the right side. Notice as they're moving the shot, it slowly changes with shadows and stuff. Again, you can use curtains to be able to replicate that effect, as well as you could use some earthings that are called cutters. They don't use cutters too much anymore, though. Horrible teeth, rotten, again. His eyes are wide, again, to imply that there's fear. Look at Jennifer Aniston's face. She looks just with a sneer, and then she kind of, like, side-eyed gazes. That's, again, that she doesn't believe him, but is willing to humor him with that. Okay. Notice we hear a little, like, clash there in the background, and notice the music is kind of picking up, again, to imply that the tensions are rising a little bit. Notice that the music itself is shifting, again, to whimsical, to kind of imply maybe that everybody's confused. Look at Ozzy's eyes, again, wide-eyed, to imply that he's scared. Look at Jennifer Aniston slowly backs into Ozzy to imply that she's scared without actually telling us they're scared. Again, show don't tell, the golden movie rule. Look at Aniston there. She's looking off on the side, a little bit puzzled as to what's going on. Ozzy's eyes are wide. He's very scared. He doesn't want him to grab whatever is over there. And the music is picking up. And we got a big reveal, and what is it? Another jump scare with a somewhat cute rat. That's a much, much cuter than what you'd normally see. So, now, because the rat has appeared and is jump scared, they're not going to believe, obviously, Ozzy. Look at Ozzy. Ozzy's eyes wide, shaking his head, trying to, again, sell that the leprechaun actually exists, but they're not believing him. I will say that's a very pervy camera shot by the cinematographer and as well as the director. Notice that Jennifer Aniston is in very, very, very cut off shorts. Again, her shorts are, like, very, 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 very tight. And we had that camera angle where she's walking up the stairs, and we just have the shot of her posterior. Very, very pervy of them. Notice the rainbow? So Ozzy is talking about the rainbow, maybe the pot of gold. Maybe they're looking for the pot of gold. Look, we got the rainbow there. That could be done two ways. You could either use a matte where it's just a rainbow in the background, or you could rotoscope there. Most of the effects I've seen so far in the movie has been primarily rotoscoping in the effects. Because again, this is a time period where CGI wasn't like very, very practical just yet. So you had to use like more practical special effects, like old school ways to be able to make certain things. Oh, look. She's talking, let's you and I go paint. Look at her eyes again. That's more of a loving gaze, a romantic one. She's trying to lure this dude, court him. Notice the music is again picking up, being a little bit more whimsical. We see the actual gold, the pot of gold, the rainbow there. Look, it's by the car, and then the rainbow dissipated. Again, the rainbow there was definitely a rotoscope effect. Basically, you use 2D animation, then you transpose it onto it. This was also done in a time period when there wasn't non-linear editing, so they still had to use film strips, they still had to cut things. This was much, much older movie than people think. In 1993, like, special effects weren't super, super up there yet. It wasn't until, like, Jurassic Park that then we really started to get, like, a heavily CGI and more, like, animatronic things. Notice, again, the coin there, it sparkled. Oh, look at this. The kid is grabbing, give me, to imply greed. Instead of saying he's being greedy, we're being conveyed that it's greedy. Notice that, again, you can kind of tell that Ozzy and him are kind of best friends because they're on similar mental level. He stole the gold coin. Ah, look at that. The magical bag with the rest of the gold has appeared there too. He's like, oh, here, you can have the coin. Let me get the gold. There. Notice the music is picking up again. It's more whimsical, more childlike. This is kind of like ambitious, the music itself, to imply that they have ambitions. Oh, look. And the kid's getting frustrated because he keeps talking about the leprechaun. Finders keepers. See, Ozzy wanted to give the gold back to Leprechaun. Maybe we wouldn't even necessarily have this film if it was the way it was, Dread Knights, This could have been much, much different. Well, he swallowed the gold coin. He tried to bite it. Why would you do that? Could that be a recurring plot device in the film later on, perhaps? Nice going, Jaws. He referenced him as Jaws. I'm surprised he didn't choke to death on that gold coin. Uh-oh. So there's one less gold coin. The kid is going to take charge here. He's going to keep one. What is he going to keep? He's going to hide the rest. Can't tell anybody about this. No, siree. You can't tell anybody about it. You know how adults are. Again, the music is kind of whimsical. Notice Ozzy's like shifting his head and his eyes back and forth. He's kind of confused. He doesn't really understand, but he's just going with the plan because he doesn't want to be the oddball out, right? Look at that. Oh, the kid is very happy now. You notice that he's smiling. His eyes are wide. He's getting... His body language is different. What? Oh, look, he's talking about Operation for Ozzy. What is he talking about? To make him smart, see? So in this movie, again, they don't imply that Ozzy is on the autism spectrum. They just kind of... They don't say it outright. They just imply it, see? He just hurt Ozzy's feelings. Notice his head went down, looking at the ground, again, to kind of imply that he's upset and, like, a little bit embarrassed about the people treat him. Uh-oh. Again, he's saying that nobody's making fun of him, only behind his back. Again, look how he's upset. He's just shifting his head. He feels kind of, like, ashamed in a way, which is kind of... I didn't really like that part about the film. Because I feel like, there's a... Again, this is 1993, so things are not as not so much politically correct, but a bit more sensitive to topics of that nature, people with, like, autism spectrums. This is a movie technique that's done not only in regular movies, but romantic movies, romantic comedies, to imply that they're very close emotionally, romantically attractive. Notice how he kind of slowly bumps into her hip there with his leg. Notice how she touches his hand to give him back the paintbrush. Notice the way she's walking, smiling. There's a bit of a saunter to her. That's to imply that she knows that her courtship of this guy right now is kind of working. And there we see the leprechaun slowly crawling. This is actually the first time we really see the leprechaun in broad daylight here. Look at her smile. She thinks that she's being caressed by the painter dude under the car. Nathan is this name, by the way, because she just gave it away. Look at that, smiling. She's really into Nathan. And she's only known this dude for, like, what, a day or two? Oh, look, her eyes went wide. Her leg got scratched. She's bleeding now. The leprechaun scratched her. Do you think that was part of his plan? Look at the dad. The dad came running out of nowhere. Where the hell was the freaking dad lurking? You notice the dad was just lurking out of nowhere. Like, this dude was like all macking out of the daughter, and oh, notice what she said? I thought it was you caressing the leg, and look at the dad giving the painter the glaring eyes of disdain. I know what a man's caressing my leg. Look at the dad. The dad's like in disbelief, shocked. Great movie techniques here to imply everything that's going on. It's like, look at this. You might have rabies. She's got to go to a hospital, so there's the plot device that they're going to have to go to a hospital. Notice the cat? There's a cat sound going on, too. Uh-oh. Got scratched by the cat, but you still have to go to the hospital if you got scratched by a wild cat, right? I would say so, right? Uh-oh. The dad is putting his hand in the tree trunk. I don't think I would do that. What happens if the cat was, like, feral, if it's an actual cat? What happens if there's a rat in there? What happens if there's something else? Okay, music is picking up. It's a little bit whimsical right now. They're looking on a little bit with wonderment with the facial expressions. Oh! He got bit! Look at that. His hand is completely bleeding now, too. And his got a deep wound. It's the leprechaun. We see the leprechaun in the tree trunk. He's playing some whimsical tricks on everybody. Maybe he's trying to do divide and conquer. You know, if he's able to separate people away from the house, maybe he can find his gold. Maybe that's the plan because his powers are weak. Three guys that paint. That's the name of the truck and the company. You know, the van. Okay, we see the key being put in. Again, the car is kind of stalling there. Do you think that's what the leprechaun was doing before? Notice that a couple scenes ago, we saw the leprechaun that was crawling underneath the car. Maybe he was messing with the machinery there. Maybe to kind of leave them in a situation where they were not able to escape. He's playing mind games with them. He's doing the art of war, perhaps, Dread Knights. The art of war there. Alright. Okay, the leprechaun ran into the barn. What is he looking for? He found a tricycle. Where is he going with a tricycle? Notice the whimsical movie. This is when the movie starts shifting dramatically, more to a comedy. Look how long it took them to drive to the nearest hospital. It's nighttime already, and it was daytime before. That's a very interesting choice. How far is the hospital? And notice that Nathan told them, okay, we're going to take him into the hospital. You go and mess around in town for a while. Is that a little bit irresponsible? I don't know if Nathan is like the guardian of these two. If that maybe is like his little brother. It was never really implied in the film. No, Ozzy's supposed to be like a friend of theirs. Look, they went to an appraisal shop. We saw the title of the appraisal shop. Look at the leprechaun. The leprechaun is there in the shadows, lurking, hiding. He's been stalking them. It's like he knows. It's like he could sense the gold itself. It's like an innate sense. Look at this guy. This guy's like full-on hillbilly. They're trying to figure out how much the bloom is worth. Solid gold. This guy who's playing the appraiser here, he has been in different films before. Horror films. He always is like an extra. One of the films that he's been in is Silent Night, Deadly Night, Part 4. Which is a terrible movie. I don't recommend anybody ever watch that film. Look, he's going to put it in the safe. He's going to write up a receipt. Do you think, would you trust somebody that's our appraisal person? He's asking if the coin came for a leprechaun. Look at him looking at him in disbelief. He's just like, are you crazy? So they'll come back tomorrow. Venus. Would you be able to trust, like, a pawn shop owner? I don't think I would be able to. With a gold coin, that seems like that's a little bit more expensive than... You know, I don't know. Why wouldn't they, like... Maybe they would leave, you know, keep it for themselves, or maybe they would blackball the person in terms of the price. At least that's how I would feel regarding it. Look, he pulled out a book, actually, so he's not like some... Notice the music again, picking up an escalation, again, to imply that there's an impending threat, impending doom. Something scary is potentially about to happen. Something is going to fall upon this poor appraiser, antique person, whatever, antique shop owner, whatever you want to call him, right? You know? He's okay. See, he's just shaking his head. He's opening the safe there. Oh, the tricycle just bumps into him. A little bit of a jump scare. Back in 1993, if you were watching Leprechaun in the movie theaters, you probably would have jumped at that tricycle jump scare because you're getting, like, so into the film. Nowadays, I've seen this movie so many times, like, I can actually quote this movie. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to spare people from that. Again, that was just a nice little jump scare. But back in when people have never seen this movie before, that would have gotten people. Notice the music again, a bit mysterious, whimsical. Notice as he goes back to open the safe, the music itself is picking up heightened tension to imply to the viewer that there's heightened tension. Maybe the leprechaun is coming quicker. Maybe coming faster. Oh, jump scare again. There we get the leprechaun. I don't know why he took his hat off for that, though. Finally got a very good look at the leprechaun for once. Oh, he bit him in the arm. Oh, look at that. He bit him in the arm, and he tore off some flesh. That was with practical special effects. So, it's kind of hard to explain that one to people, but you basically use a bit of prosthetics that are very loose, and then you have the stunt actor basically rip it off. And that's how you get the ripping skin thing. Because everything in this film is done with practical effects, no special CGI here. Uh-oh. Notice he's going to grab a pogo stick. So we know when it comes to the leprechaun, he is more about like psychological warfare. And then on top of psychological warfare, he likes to like, he slowly drags out their deaths. He doesn't like straight out kill them. He plays around with them a bit. He plays with his food for all intention purposes there, Dread Knight. So that's an interesting one. If you had an issue there, please refresh YouTube. So I think I can tell you. Should be fine on my end, it looks like. He'll bounce back in no time. 1 gold coin. 99 to go. By the luck of the Irish. Okay. Notice he's got one of the coins now, so is he going to get a little bit more powerful because of that? We will have to see. We'll have to see their Dread Knights. Sunquest Cafe. That's an interesting name for a cafe. I could go for a cafe right about now. Oh, notice the music, country. I know California multiple times, especially like San Francisco as well as LA. I don't remember the music ever being like that in California, particularly Southern California and Northern California. Never. They don't play a lot of country music over there. Look at that. Her eyes are wide. She's upset. Notice that she seems a little bit more relieved. Look at the leprechaun right now, too. Look at this little, like, car that he's got. It's a little bit like a Barbie Corvette, but apparently they weren't able to actually afford that. So they had to use, like, a knockoff car. Notice the police officer here. He's biting a donut. He's looking with a gaze. And he's just kind of got this, like, frown on his face. He's like, what the hell is going on there? You know? Again, show don't tell, show don't tell, show don't tell. You know? Again, fun one. A very good fun movie. It's like silly fun to say the very least. Alright. He's pulling him over. What could be done here? So the cop is pulling him over. I'm surprised that the leprechaun stopped, but again, at this point, the leprechaun, we know him as a bit of a jokester. Notice the music is picking up. It's way more sinister. There's no whimsical tone here. That's to imply that the cop is walking potentially to his death. Maybe something very catastrophic is about to happen to him. We don't know. Aren't we a little young? Notice that line because he thinks he's actually a little kid. He says he's 600 years old. The cop is not liking that whatsoever. Look at the evil glare that the leprechaun gave him. He's kind of being feral even there in Dread Knights. Like if he's going to strike this cop, strike them down. Oh, so now you're a leprechaun. See? The cop doesn't believe him. Oh my goodness, look at that. The leprechaun just grabbed his face and literally is ripping off the face and he stole his gut away. Like if he was afraid of the gun. Why? He's literally ripping pieces of flesh from his face. That's so disgusting. And ironically, we cut away to Nathan ripping into Meatloaf. So that's kind of a nice little foreshadowing there. It's the director playing a little bit of silly games and stuff. A little bit of ha-ha funny. Ho-ho funny things. Cheap whiskey. I don't think Jameson would be considered cheap whiskey, in my opinion, Dread Knights. We saw everybody in this film drinking so far, like good stuff. The good stuff, Dread Knights. Alright. See the leprechaun coming again? What's gonna happen here? We see the poor dude. Where's he going? Where's he going? The poor cop. The cop is in some serious trouble right now, Dread Knights. A lot of trouble this cop is in. He might be donezo. Notice the cop is running, the music is escalating, like he's pouncing him. Hiding escalation there. Right. The cop falls over, that's not good. It's very, very bad. Notice the cop is running again, the music is picking up, more tension, escalation. Notice the forest is brightly lit. That would have been done with a DMI light that's being usually propped up on a crane. So it's overhead. That could potentially, based on those trees, I don't think this is an actual forest. This looks a little more like this was done on a set. Because if you look at the grass very carefully, it looks more synthetic and plastic. Notice the leprechaun doesn't want to finish off his victim. He wants to play with his food. He likes to torture them mentally before he actually kills them. I don't know if he gets his jollies out of that or it has to do with his power. Most likely it's just he likes to have a good laugh. You know, leprechauns in lore in general are supposed to be creatures that like a lot of mischief. They like a lot of fun. So kind of like he's playing up the character itself. And again, a lot of this movie wouldn't really work had it not been for Warwick Davis's phenomenal acting in it. Notice the hat dropped. So again, he's just playing around with the cop. The cop is shifting his head back and forth. He's walking very slowly. That's to imply that he's scared. He's nervous. He doesn't really know what's going on. The music is whimsical again. Maybe to imply that the leprechaun's about to play a trick on this poor cop. Oh, look, he's tugging him over here. So we're going to go into one of the greatest movie tropes ever, where a villain character is like, over here, get me! Over here, get me! Over here! He's basically teleporting between tree and tree, and the guy is getting... The poor cop is, like, super confused. He's plagued with his food. Even if he tries to hit one of these leprechauns, it's almost guaranteed that he's not going to be able to do anything. Look at him, again, super confused. He doesn't know. He's saying, leave me alone, leave me alone. This poor cop is so done. He's so cooked. He's not going to be able to survive this, definitely. Especially since he doesn't have a four-leaf clover, right? Notice the music, again, more whimsical. Notice the leprechaun's not trying to chase after him. He's even running away. So the cop is, like, literally, like, in disbelief at this point. He's even panting. He's breathing heavy. Notice that he's slouching on the tree. He's not even trying to chase after him. He even says, no more. He's defeated. He's not saying he's defeated, but it's being implied that he's defeated. He's giving up. He's just hoping that this leprechaun, this creature, whatever it is just going to leave him alone. And he's smiling because he thinks that he survived it. Notice he's smiling. He's glaring. He's bleeding profusely on his face. Notice the music is kind of shifting a little bit. Everything seems okay. He's smiling. He thinks the danger. Notice, again, the music is picking up again. It's picking up in tone. Again. Look at that tone. Notice that tone, Dread Knights. It's very, very important. And man, this music picks up and then the leprechaun drops. And again, the music shifts from that whimsical thing, like the danger's over, to him actually being frightened. Oh, and the leprechaun just snapped his neck. He didn't even rip the rest of his face off. He just snapped his neck like that. So we also know that the leprechaun has superhuman strength at this point. Like, he's poking him in the head, like if he thought that he was going to be alive after a broken neck. He broke his neck, leprechaun. Tori is the name of Jeffrey Aniston's character. Look, he's trying to give her meatloaf. I gotta be honest, looking at that plate of meatloaf, I wouldn't want a bite of that. Would you, Dread Knights? I don't think that's a yummy bite. I don't think that's tasteful. I don't think that's even good. Look at her. She's upset. That's cut up dead cow, she's saying. She doesn't eat meat. So she's a vegetarian, apparently. So that's kind of funny because back in 1993... I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I have friends who are vegetarians. I have friends that are vegan. I don't eat as much meat as I usually used to either. Every once in a while I don't. Today I am, though. But again, like, back then, in 1993, it was a little bit more insensitive. They treated vegetarians and, like, vegans as pretentious people. So notice how she's acting a bit pretentious when she says, I don't kill anything. I don't eat animals. My shoes are not made of leather. That's to imply that pretentious nature. Again, 1993 was a different time period, so things were a little bit different back then. I mean, by today's standards, a little bit more insensitive, depending on how you look at it. Notice the leprechaun, he went back into the farm again. The O'Grady's house. He's looking for the rest of the gold. The music is whimsical, again, because he's doing this search that he has. Looking for the cupboards there, mysteriously. It's kind of crazy how all this events of this film so far have been just one day that they've been doing the paint job. They haven't even fixed up the house. I don't know how, honestly, there's even food in the cupboards, because you would figure if this house had been condemned for a long time, there wouldn't be, like, Lucky Charms boxes. Notice the Lucky Charms here, they didn't actually use the full text that says Lucky Charms, and it's not using Lucky the Leprechaun logo. That's to imply that the license was too expensive, and the license holders maybe didn't want to give it to the Leprechaun film. Again, Leprechaun just kind of rummaging through everything, whimsical here. Notice, again, the cobwebs on the window. Again, this house had been abandoned for a long time, so they're kind of painting the picture that they didn't really do too much in terms of fixing this up so smart. The Leprechaun looks at his reflection and screams at it. That's a nice little shot there of seeing the leprechaun look at his reflection over the shoulder. Nice little camera effect. A nice little camera angle. Nice camera shot. Notice that the mirror is shining some light. That would have had to have been done with a light that's shining above him to be able to simulate that effect. Notice the leprechaun is just randomly grabbing shoes now and just for some odd reason shining them. I don't know what the point of that's supposed to be, though, Jordan. Alright. He's shining the boots. These boots are made for walking. Walking they will do. I don't want to sing the whole song because it's DMCA. One of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you. He shined all those boots. He shined all those shoes. What's he? You think he has a foot fetish or something, Jordan Knights? I don't know. Leprechaun's into, like, shoes in a very weird way. He's into shoes the way that I'm into card games, almost. But terrible joke. Look at the house again. It's been rummaged. The Leprechaun went for everything. He went for the food. He went for the shoes. Look at Jennifer Aniston's face. Look at Ozzy's face. Look at Nathan's face. Look at the little kids. All of them are, like, kind of bewildered. Like, what the hell just happened in here? Ooh, Ozzy's trying to wash some kid's mouth out with soap. Look at Jennifer Aniston's, like, so confused. Why are all these shoes polished? Like, that's not normal behavior. Notice her face. She's, like, frowning. Bear? Why would a bear? Like, honestly, why would a bear grab shoes? Like, does that make sense to anybody in chat? Does that make sense to any of you, Dread Knights? Why would the bear shine shoes? Oh, Leprechaun. See, he's trying to imply again that it's the Leprechaun, and the Leprechaun is the one to cause it. Jennifer Aniston's not believing it. Jennifer Aniston's getting ready to leave. She's had enough of whatever's happening in this house. Do you think she's going to come back? Do you think she's going to come back, Dread Knights? I don't know. I don't. It's kind of... Oh, she walked back in. That was super fast. She said she was done. She's like those audience members that say they'll never watch a streamer again and then they come back the next day. Like, see you tomorrow. She literally pulled that. Uh-oh. He gave her a broom. That's kind of chauvinistic. Like, hey, why don't you help and sweep? Don't do that. That's super chauvinistic of this dude. He gave the lady the broom, like, hey, do your job in the kitchen. Like, that's... Again, 1993. Things were a little bit more insensitive. Oh, look, they're smiling at each other again to imply attraction. There goes the tricycle. I don't know what is up with the Leprechaun and being attracted to, like, using this tricycle. It's like a weird thing of his. Like, he has some fixation with tricycles. It's like... He said he's 600 years old, but he's acting like a kid a lot of the times in this film. Do you think he's like the youngest Leprechaun, maybe? Up. And then we see the jump scare of Ozzy that was playing around with the bell. Notice that Jennifer Aniston's character grabbed Nathan by the arm there, to kind of imply that she needed some type of protection. On top of that, to cop a feel, notice that he was smiling at her the whole time that she grabbed him. Again, this is to imply that there's attraction between them. On top of that, when she grabs him by the arm, it's to imply that there's closeness again. Movie theater. Show, don't tell. Movie, cinema. Show, don't tell. Very important. Look, Ozzy's asking if you can kill the Leprechaun. And the kid is like, you can kill anything! And he's talking about guns. This kid is very feisty, I will say that much. He's got, like, no fear. You wouldn't think he lived in San Francisco. You'd think he would live in Compton or something, or Bakersville, a rough part of California. So funny, right? Up, there's the bell again. They think Ozzy is ringing the bell. Ooh, look, Jennifer Aniston's character is angry. She's just, like, giving him the glare. The bell is ringing, but nobody's ringing it. I think this is finally where we're gonna get to reveal that maybe Ozzy isn't so crazy. Look at Jennifer Aniston giving a side glare towards the kitchen, like, very confused, perplexed. Notice Nathan's character. He's walking around, eyes shifting around. He's a bit perplexed, confused as to what's going on. He's not scared. Again, show, don't tell. Notice the music is picking up in terms of the escalation, only to get a jump scare of everybody following him. Again, this is kind of a very interesting movie technique that a lot of directors do, where they do a lot of fake outs, so that when actually, like, the horror villain comes out, that it actually gets you into a jump scare. It's always kind of fun to play in horror movies around with your audience, because you can get them, you lure them to a full sense of security, so you do fake jump scare, you raise the tension with the music, you make it sinister, hit them with another fake jump scare. So then you're like, they get so mad, they're like, yeah, this isn't it. So then, like, you catch them completely off guard. And that's, like, really good, effective horror movie making. It doesn't happen too often in this day and age. Like, most of the films that I've seen currently, when it comes to horror films, have very cheap, like, jump scares. Uh-oh. He fell into a bear trap. There's the Leprechaun. The Leprechaun had set a trap. Look at that. He didn't even use his powers there. He just outsmarted Nathan. Put a bucket and he literally fell in. That was kind of cool. Uh-oh. Look at that. Look at him. He's toying with, again, remember, throughout the whole movie, we've had the Leprechaun just, like, playing around with his victims. Oh, but this one's fighting back. Nathan's beating the crap out of him with a flashlight. Oh, he hit him in the midsection. Look at that. For a dude that's got a bear trap on his leg, Nathan don't mess around. Nathan really must be for Compton in California or Bakersfield. He's got that dog in him. He's got that fight in him, Dread Knights. Oh, but look at the Leprechaun. He comes back to bite him in the leg. He's getting pelted with the freaking flashlight. He don't care. They're hitting him with a rocket. It's not even this Leprechaun. It's also to imply he's getting stronger. He's getting more powerful. He's able to take these hits that he wasn't able to take before, Dread Knights. Look at that, Aniston. His character just wailing on him. You would figure she's afraid of him. Why are they picking on the short dude? Are they just picking on him because he's short? And that's what they're doing? They're not afraid of him? Size doesn't matter, apparently, you know? Look at, they went and had Ozzy call, and Ozzy's saying that it's a Leprechaun. The cops are not going to come. Look at this. He's talking to the sheriff. The sheriff is just laughing. Oh, what was it last week? So Ozzy has a tendency of doing this now, Dread Knights. It was Bigfoot. Look at the sheriff. The sheriff is just shaking his head. Oh, he says Ozzy's a good boy, but a Leprechaun, look at him. He's smiling. He doesn't believe him, obviously. That's a good one. Again, not saying I don't believe you. He's just implying it. Again, show don't tell. But cut away back to the fight with the Leprechaun. Listen, they've been fighting this Leprechaun, like, fisticuff for 5 minutes. Oh, he shot him with the shotgun straight in the midsection. Do you think that's enough to kill the Leprechaun? Ozzy's running back. Look. They're moving Alex. That's the name of the little kid to the porch. He shot the Leprechaun. Oh, Aniston's character again. Look at that. Pulling the bear trap. Look at that leg, that wound there. You can tell that that's very, very bad because it's a deep wound. Has anyone ever stepped in a bear trap? I have not, but I would assume that it hurts quite a bit. Uh-oh. Look at that. He's emptying the shotgun shells into the grass. Why would you do that? You should conserve that ammo. The #1 cardinal sin of movies, particularly horror movies, is people unload all their ammo and then they don't have anything left for when the evil actually strikes them. Again, notice the music again picking up escalation, sinister sound. Notice when we see that the Leprechaun's not there, the music dies down again. This is audio design. Audio design makes and breaks movies, Dread Knights. Ozzy said that he called and said all those things. She's asking if he told them that it was a Leprechaun, and he said, yeah, that's what it was. So, you know, they're not coming to help. Aniston, very upset over the situation. They're going to bring Nathan back in the house. Obviously, if you shot a Leprechaun in the midsection, do you think that he's dead if you didn't see the body? You didn't confirm the kill. Why didn't you confirm the kill? Where was the kill there? Why didn't you confirm the kill? Okay, she's going to try to play nurse here. Tissue, alcohol. Rubbing alcohol on an open wound like that, I don't know if that's going to work. They need, he needs some serious medical attention, stitches and stuff, man. He's going to be okay? I don't think he's going to be okay. Yeah, because they got to take him to a doctor. There's no way. What did that thing still there? Oh, no. You didn't put 6 rounds into them. You didn't confirm the kill, Nathan. What are you talking about, bro? That's poppycock at that point. Alright. They're gonna put ice on the wound, on an open wound. He's looking for stuff. Okay. They're gonna go to the hospital in the Jeep. Notice it's Jeep Van Cherokee! Again, that was a super popular Jeep back in the 90s. Like, if you were a cool, rugged dude, or you were from the South, or you were somebody from the Valley, you drive a Jeep Van Cherokee. You didn't drive... There were no SUVs back then. You know what? It was either that, or you were driving a Porsche, or you were driving a convertible. You weren't driving any aircraft. You know what? If you're in the Valley, you need that off-road terrain. So you're driving that Jeep Van Cherokee. I am not sponsored by Jeep in whatsoever way, Dread Knights. But Dread is willing to sell out for car companies. Just saying, you know? Dread could be the first VTuber that does car commercials, right? Who knows? You never know. Alright. So, they're trying to get the car started. Alex, who has been established as the guy that can fix the cars whenever they go awry, is going to check on the engine here. Notice the music again picking up escalation. Notice Alex's face. He's looking around, shifting. His eyes are very wide. This is to imply that he's afraid without him saying, I'm afraid. Again, movies rules. Show, don't tell. Look at the light there flashing on the car hood. Oh, jump scare the leprechaun. Why did it work that time for us? And it didn't work the previous time? Because they faked us out 3 times before we saw the leprechaun. Now, when we get a jump scare, it's like, it's going to be a fake out, and it's not. Again, smart director choice there. Very, very smart movie making there. A leprechaun there, terrorizing them. Notice the music is becoming way more sinister there. The leprechaun is grabbing at people. Uh-oh. Look at that. He's biting Ozzy's ear off. Literally biting the piece of his ear. He's going for the claw. Jeffrey Aston is reaching for the lighter thing that used to be able to grab out of the car. Shoves it into the leprechaun's eye. Look at the burning, rotting flesh there. That's a nice little effect. How do they do that? You use dry ice. So what you do is you cut away to the camera. You would put dry ice in your hand. So then you put it over the eye, and it simulates the effect of an actual cigarette burning him in the eye without actually. It's a nice little smoking effect, and you can do it very, very on the cheap. It doesn't cost, like, a lot to be able to do that. Oh! He busted through the door with... What has he got there? It looks like a go-kart this time. It's like a makeshift go-kart. He literally made a makeshift go-kart. This leprechaun's got it all. He made his own go-kart out of things. And he's got a pitchfork on it. So he was able to flip over the car. How does that work from a scientific standpoint? If anybody can make that make sense to me, how? How? Is it his magic that's doing that there? Ashes, ashes, we all fall down. So the leprechaun is very proud of his work. Again, he still doesn't really know where his gold is, right? He's just kind of terrorizing these people, hopefully because he thinks that they have it. Uh-oh. He looks inside the car and doesn't see any of them. How is that possible? How did they get out of the car so quickly when it flipped over? That's like a plot device there. Because IRL, they would have probably sustained some type of injuries with the car flipping that way. Alright, but they used that apparently as a diversion. I think that was just a plot device to keep the movie going for an extra 32 minutes. There's about 32 minutes left in the runtime. Leprechaun's chasing after them. Nathan falls down again. Nathan has... Oh, it wasn't Nathan, correction. It was Jennifer Aniston's character. Oh! Look at that. He slammed the hand on the leprechaun's door. Freaking slammed the hand on the door. Oh, leprechaun's hand literally popped off there. We see the leprechaun's hand crawling up the door by itself. That was done with a little bit of animatronics as well as a little bit of clay animation there, because you can see in one of the shots it looks very clay animation wise. Practical special effects, again, this is in a time period when there wasn't really CGI yet. CGI didn't really come out until Jurassic Park, roughly around that time. Uh-oh. Her portable phone. She's looking for a portable phone. Hopefully she has some batteries for this portable phone, Dread Knights. That's what we're hoping. She's just calling for the police. Well, do you think that will work, her Dread Knights? She's calling from the Grady firm. Something terrible has happened? What do you think? What do you think? Do you think they'll actually send help this time since it's a woman and it's not Ozzy? Or you think they're going to think that they were prank calling? Alright, it's okay. They're going to send somebody help. How are they going to be able to outlast us, though? They're going to be fine. I don't think so. Well, it's calling the deputy over. Deputy Shepard. Trippin', do you read me? Oh! Notice the voice on that? Notice the voice on the intercom system, Dread Knights. That's not... That can't be the guy. That was the guy from earlier. You noticed his voice? Look at that. Cold One priority. Uh-oh. Yep. See? It's the leprechaun. How does he know to mimic his voice? That's... You know his power's coming on for... He's getting stronger. Jennifer Aniston's eyes are wide, again to imply fear. She's a little bit nervous. Notice the kid's character, Nathan, shaking his head back and forth. Look at Ozzy's character. He's frowning. His face is wincing. That's to imply that he's in pain without saying, I'm in pain. Again, show don't tell when it comes to movies. It should be here by now. Alright. Do you think they'll come? She's trying to make the wound a little bit tighter. Look at her eyes, too tight. She's sassing him from earlier. Remember early in the movie, he was making fun of her for being like prissy prima donna, and that she didn't want to stay in the house. Now she's getting a little bit of her kicks, revenge against him, which is kind of funny. I mean, one good turn deserves another. Again, people that are romantically linked usually like to tease each other. That's kind of something to imply closeness. Okay. Look at his eyes. He's shifting around. What do you mean gold? See? They spoiled it. Uh-oh. See? They can't give away the fig anymore. Yeah, what happened with the gold? Spill the beans, Alex! This might be life or death. You can't fix that, bro. Yeah, see, she's telling him. He knows that, but he doesn't, so he was just giving him hope. I mean, that's nice, right? You always gotta give your homies some help. Okay, so she's telling her where the gold is, so hopefully that they give the gold back and the Leprechaun will just leave them alone. I don't know if this is really going to work for them, to be honest with you. Nathan is trying to go with her, but he's way too hurt. Look at him, he can barely walk. I don't know, Jennifer Aniston's character changes her pants so much in this movie, because there was one shot where she was wearing jeans, and she wasn't wearing the cutoff shorts when she was running away, and now she's wearing the shorts again. That's like a continuity error. Oh, she cocked the gun like nothing, man. Notice how she's not afraid? She's storming out of there with purpose, determination. She's, like, starting to become a final girl, even though everybody in this movie's still alive. We've only really, so far, had 2 deaths in the movie, for those of you who are, like, joining us. 2 deaths so far. We had the antique shop owner that was appraising the coin, and we've had the deputy that was killed with his face being snapped. The Leprechaun maimed the father, the Leprechaun has maimed Nathan, the Leprechaun has maimed Ozzy, but he hasn't been able to kill anybody else. I don't know if he feels like they knew where the gold was, and that's kind of why he didn't kill them. He was just toying around with them. I don't know. That's kind of one of those things where you kind of wonder why the Leprechaun didn't just go, like, full-on massacre and get rid of them all. I mean, yeah, he did say his powers were weak, but at this point in the movie, they seem pretty dead-on and strong, right? Because he's able to regenerate his hand and put it back on his body. Jennifer Aniston right now is cranking up that well. Cranking it. Do you think she's going to be able to get the gold from that? I mean, that's kind of a little bit of a movie trope there, to hide, like, gold or to hide, like, something special in the well, in the bucket. It's old school movie trope there. That's like something you would expect out of the Goonies, which, by the way, Sister Dread said hello, and Sister Dread said that if I get to 1,000 subs, we're doing the Goonies watch along, so... we're getting kind of close. I've never seen the Goonies before. I don't really care for it, but my sister's, like, adamant on seeing it. Okay, notice the special effects with the Leprechaun there. He's happy. His eyes are wide. He noticed that he said his powers returned. Notice with the special effects when he grabbed it with the little beam thing, that was a rotoscope animation effect there. Oh, looks like me gold. He's saying a lyric and everything. Smells like me gold. I know what the next line is. It tastes like me gold! He kissed Jennifer Aniston. She didn't consent to that, dude. You don't go giving people smooches without them consenting. Look at that. He's so happy. He's like even sparing them. He doesn't even want to kill them. He just wanted his gold back. Half of this movie could have been spared if nobody messed with his gold. He would have stayed back in Ireland, in the rainbow, not messing with anybody. In reality, is the Leprechaun truly the villain of this movie? All he wanted was his gold back. Is he in the wrong for doing a little bit of violence to get it back? Yeah. I mean, you don't resort to violence necessarily. But, you know, O'Grady started this thing. All he wanted was his gold back. He would have been happy just getting his gold back. You know, just give him the gold. None of this movie would have happened. Oh, he's counting his gold here. Notice the music, again, is more whimsical. He counted 99 coins. Look at him. His eyes went wide. His teeth are grating. He's gurring. Look at his hands. They're clenching. He's angry. He's been hoodwinked. They got a coin. 1 coin! It's 1 coin is what set him off. Boil up some water for his ear. I guess to disinfect? I don't know. I'm not a nurse. I don't think we have any nurses that are currently in chat. How does boiling water help disinfect something? I've never heard of that one. Uh-oh. Leprechaun popped out of the refrigerator. Oh, a leprechaun hand got thrown into the stove. It's literally burning. Oh, look at that effect. Again, everything's practical special. Notice it doesn't really hurt him too much. Look at him. His eyes are wide. Like, that didn't hurt him whatsoever. Uh-oh. So he's got the gun. Nathan is moving around with the shotgun. Let's see what happens here. Eyes are wide, again, to imply fear. That's not that they're confused. Again, Jennifer Aniston's body there, slowly walking up. That's again to imply fear. Show, don't tell, as the movie rule is. Oh, look. This is a trope again. Notice how he's doing the same thing he did with the trees. He's pulling the Scooby-Doo thing, where he's one place and then he disappears and he pops out of another place. I don't know if that was intentional, to, like, just kind of do the Scooby-Doo thing multiple times. I feel like it works with the tree in this film, but I don't feel like it works when you do a second time. Oh, he grabbed him by the Johnson, I guess is the easiest way to put it. Oh, he shot, but he missed. He can't really shoot him. Again, remember, the Leprechaun said that his powers were back almost fully. He's got 99 coins, so he's able to get a little bit stronger. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Right? Looking around again, Jennifer Aniston shifting. She's scared, but not implying it by saying, "I'm scared, Nathan," because that's very lame movie things when you do that. You don't do that in movies. You don't go, "I'm scared." You show the person scared. You don't say, "I'm happy." You usually show the person's happy. You don't say, "I'm angry." You show that they're angry. That's the things you do in films. Again, see them looking? He came down the chimney. Right here. He's ain't no Santa Claus. He did that just to tell a joke. Okay, he shot him with the shotgun yet again. Nathan's like, "Oh, we got you." Is he frothing at the mouth? Is this Leprechaun literally rabbit? Look at him. He's frothing off of the mouth a little bit there. I mean, I'm not an expert when it comes to shooting things, because I don't shoot things, but I'm pretty sure when you shoot somebody, it doesn't froth them at the mouth. And then notice they cut away and he's not frothing at the mouth anymore. That was a bad continuity error. Alright, Nathan is pointing at him. Unless the frothing at the mouth was the gold buckle from far away, but I don't know. Oh! He jump scared us again. Look at his blood. It's green. He's bleeding green. Does that imply he has more power? Because remember in a previous shot, he was bleeding... He was bleeding a different color. Dread Knights? Alright. Let's see here. What's going on, Dread Knights? Again, they're pushing towards... In the distance, they're still trying to subdue this leprechaun that really refuses to go away. Just give him his gold. Everything will be fine. Just give him his gold. Just give him his gold. But, again, he's just toying around with them. Again, pulling another Scooby-Doo antic there. You know, a lot of Scooby-Doo antics. Scooby-Doo, Scooby-Doo, where are you? We got some fun to do now. I can't sing the actual song because it's, again, DMCA. Leprechaun was very inspired by Scooby-Doo, I'm thinking at this point. Also, O'Grady, if you notice, like the name, Old Man McGrady, that's something that was in a Scooby-Doo episode. So, a lot of hidden Scooby-Doo references in this film. I never really realized it until now. Alright. Nathan looking around. He thinks he's in the basement. This perhaps may be a reference to Evil Dead. Evil Dead, Evil Dead. We're almost at the end of this movie. Let me type something while we're waiting. It's gonna be okay. Do you hear anything? Oh! Jump scare again. Notice how they're not... It jump scaring us anymore with this. You know? It's quick jump scares. It's not like little fake out ones. Uh-oh. Ringing. The phone is ringing. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. Hello, hello. Yes, go help them. Help them, help them. Where's the rest of me gold? See, he wants it. He's relentless. She threw the phone off the hook. How are the cops going to be able to help you at this point? Look, the phone is still calling. So, you know, his powers are back at full force at this point. Dread Knights. They're back at full force. Oh, no. Oh, no, this is scary. This is detrimental to them. Oh, no. What's going to happen? He's picking up the phone again? Having problems? Need a hand? Oh, no. Okay. Look at that. She fell backwards there because the tug came out of the fig. That's a reference to Nightmare on Elm Street. Give him his gold! You know what he wants. What does he want? What does he want? He wants his last gold coin. Ozzy is walking slowly. Oh, now we find out that he swallowed the gold coin. There's got to be another way. What is it? The fig is a leprechaun. Old Man O'Grady, what happened? You don't know how to kill it. It was a little kid. He's telling him stories about it. So you have to go find Old Man O'Grady. You notice that we were very close to the end of the film, and they just add this extra plot point into it, probably to pad out the runtime, because without it, there wouldn't be too much more time. We got 19 minutes left. He had a stroke about 10 years ago. Yeah, gotta go there. Where are they gonna go? Wait a sec. What's gonna happen? He's gonna throw boots. Remember how the Leprechaun was, like, so fascinated and fixated with boots now at this point? So I think maybe at this point, like, they're gonna actually create a diversion so that she's able to go to Sirius. Alright, let's see here. What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? Alright. Pretty good. These guys... still... Okay, good. Alright, sorry if you have a problem, YouTube, refresh. That's the only thing I can tell you. It's not me today. Hello there! Oh no, the Leprechaun! So they're throwing the shoes. Notice how the Leprechaun is magically distracted by them. It's like he has some type of passion for shoe shining that just... It's like some... I don't even know what you would call it. Compulsion? He has to clean these shoes. He must clean these shoes. He has to clean these shoes. He must clean these shoes. Again, the music is whimsical. This will provide the diversion so Tori, aka Jennifer Aniston's character, can kind of run away from there. And again, she's driving away in what? A Jeep Van Cherokee! Dread is not sponsored by Jeep in whatsoever way, but I'm willing to sell out, just saying. Just saying. Alright. And they have the spare tire. That's always smart to have on a Jeep. Alright, so they threw a whole bunch of shoes. He's gonna just clean them. And that'll allow them to buy some time to get back into the house. Leprechaun wants that one gold coin back, and Tori's character is trying to go find... rotoscope effect there again. Since this was before really CGI was prevalent, they do, like, animation, which then they transpose into the film strip to be able to create, like, that teleporting effect that the Leprechaun did. The Leprechaun apparently is riding on roller skates. I don't know where he gets all these props from. I don't know if he's able to manifest them because of magic or what. It's a little bit confusing now. Oh, notice they did, like, a Bugs Bunny thing, where he just went through the gate and he has, like, the little silhouette over it. Oh. Notice he's speeding away. That's an easy film effect. All you do is you speed up the film a little bit. Like, you speed it up in terms of editing to make it go quicker. That's a nice little one. It's easy to do that effect. Nowadays, honestly, you don't have to... Back then, this was done in linear editing with actual film strips. Nowadays, you would just go into the video editor and go, like, 2 times speed. And that's how you do it. Like, I personally have never edited linear-wise. I was always non-linear. That's how I was taught to edit on. So I never was from the film strip era days, for those who wonder. I'm from, like, the where you have to use hard drives and stuff type of era for filmmaking. For those of you who don't know, Dread actually does film television industry. Okay. Notice again here, she's looking for O'Grady. Notice the lights there. Again, those lights are basically things that are overhead that they put gels. They put a blue gel, a yellow gel, and then kind of like a reddish type of tint to be able to create that effect. Notice the air gel there. The one thing I hate about this particular scene is it's overly lit. For, like, a hallway that's nighttime, that's a retirement home, and everything feels very overly lit. And then this particular scene where you see her walking down the corridor, you notice how the light shifts dramatically different. Like, there's the blue light that's shining through the window. That's done by it's moonlight. That's done with that could be done 2 ways. You could either use a DMI or you could use a light and put a blue gel over it. Most likely you use the blue gel there because DMIs are very expensive. And then it's like driving me nuts because then we go to this scene here, right? And you see her, she's walking through the hallway, and the hallway's got those bright overhead lights, but there's shadow things, and then certain ways that the light is positioning is just like annoying the Jesus out. Notice the red and the blue in the background there? I don't really even understand what the point of that particular effect was, because it's not like that was a surgery room or something. Notice the music again picking up an escalation. We don't know what's going on. So us as the viewer, it's confusion. You know, the Leprechaun is playing with his food again because he likes to play with his victims. Again, like, the lighting here is kind of all over the place. Like, she passes by one doorway and there's, like, a reddish-bluish light. So that's supposed to imply that that's the window, and the moon is, like, bouncing off of maybe a red curtain. Alright, finally got to O'Grady's room! Look at her eyes wide to imply that she's afraid and scared. Look, he's saying no one believed it was a leprechaun. She believes it. See, after everything she's been through, she wants to know how to stop it. There's only one way to kill a leprechaun. What do you think it is, Dread Knights? I think they've kind of told us throughout the whole movie what it is. From the very beginning of the movie, if you didn't notice. It's the leprechaun! That's not O'Grady! What do you do with O'Grady? You kill O'Grady? You tracked him down? Oh, how do you get to the hospital before her? Okay, so this is an infamous scene, because On the internet, this is memed quite a bit. And in fact, like, Jennifer Aniston hates the scene for whatever reason. I don't know why. She hates the fact that she was in the first Leprechaun movie. Like, if it's some type of embarrassment, it's become a cult classic, man. Warwick Davis again. Without him, this movie would not work because of the way he delivers his lines, the way that he just does his mannerisms, the face alone, the facial reactions. If you put anybody else in this role, and they tried it, the Sci-Fi Channel did a sequel called Leprechaun Returns. It was not Warwick Davis, it was somebody else, and it failed miserably because it just, nobody can really do what he does in terms of acting. She's jamming at the elevator there, trying to get in. Will she be able to make it? Or will she not? Again, why didn't the Leprechaun just stop the elevator door there? Oh! O'Grady just literally busted through the elevator. How did that happen? Or... oh my goodness, look at him. He's all clawed up. He says he came back for him. I knew you would! Oh no. Look at her, she's crying. She's scared. She's not saying she's scared. Show don't tell. Classic movie rule. How you get down? It's too late for him. He's gonna die. He's gonna tell her how to stop the leprechaun. How do you kill it? 4-leaf clover. We got it, ladies and gentlemen. It was always in front of us from the beginning of the film. The 4-leaf clover is the way to kill the leprechaun, apparently. Have to put it on his body? Touch him. So you have to put the 4-leaf clover on his body to then be able to touch him. Interesting. Fascinating. Phenomenal. We knew the weakness to the leprechaun from the very beginning of the film. It has been staring us at the face the whole time. You know what? It kind of bothers me. Wasn't there a 4-leaf clover that got fallen off the crate? Why can't we just go back and get that one? Why does it have to be perfectly plucked from a clover patch? That seems like a very convenient plot device. Hmm. Mm-mm-mm. Alright. Alright. What do we got here? I'm sorry, did you hear something in the back of my apologies? I live in a noisy city. Sometimes we hear random stuff. My apologies there, Dread Knights. Alright, she's in the 4-leaf clover patch. She's looking for something. What is she finding? What is she looking for? The 4-leaf clover! Will she find it? Oh! Jump scare. The leprechaun's got her again. Little girls should not look for 4-leaf clovers. Like, he's super menacing. He's not even playing around. I guess because he knows that that's a menacing threat potentially for him. Okay. Come to me, dear. He's just messing around. Why do we need the camera shot, like, directly at Jennifer Aniston's posterior? Somebody make sense here. Make it make sense. Why is there so much gratuitous posterior shots? Oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Run, Jennifer, run! I mean, no, what's your name again in this movie? Oh, she's looking for the cop car. Little does she know that that cop's dead, Dread Knights. That's not gonna be good. Oh no, please help, please help. She doesn't even know he's dead. He's dead! He 07 for the cop. Oh no! Leprechaun's all there! He wants his gold! Oh! Look at that! Just shove her with the nightstick in his eye. She's not going down without a fight, Dread Knights. She's ready to play. She's not taking any of his crap. Oh, he ripped the door off. That's how you know he's gotten stronger, because before he wasn't ripping doors off and stuff. He's getting superhuman strength at this. What is he doing? He's grabbing the cop's eye? He's ripping it out. That's practical special effects. That's very easy. You use prosthetics there, and you rip it out. And then the blood is basically corn syrup mixed in with a couple of other things like food coloring. Sometimes people put like vinegar and other things in it just to kind of make it. It'd be a little bit more thing. But usually it's chocolate syrup, food coloring, usually red food coloring, and if you want, you put like a little bit of other things to water it down. Also, you could just buy blood, but back then they would probably make it naturally because it's cheaper to do it, believe it or not. Cocoa powder, too. Alright. He shot... Nathan came back to help her. How was he able to walk around with that leg injury? Is he, like, not hurt anymore? It's like he's doing superhuman strength there. It's a little bit annoying with that. Or... 4-leaf clover in the patch. They gotta get this 4-leaf clover in the patch to subdue them! Dread Knights gotta get rid of this leprechaun. You think they'll be able to withstand that? You think they will be able to... Ooh, 4-leaf clover. Where's the 4-leaf clover? Can you find it? We gotta find this 4-leaf clover. Come on! They can do it, right? We gotta believe. We gotta believe. Do you believe, Dread Knights, in them the way that I believe in all of you? Well, Ozzy, you got a free leaf clover. Man, they did in the fake out here. Hey, look at the Nathan. Not Nathan, I forgot what his name was. He's setting the little kids setting some traps. He's not afraid either. I think everybody is tired of this leprechauns you-know-what at this point because they've been dealing with him non-stop. Alright, what we got here? Please don't be here yet. Oh, he's ready to square up with this leprechaun. He's building traps and everything. Uh-oh. The camera is slowly zooming out. You know what that means, Dread Knights. The Lumen Fret is probably watching over him literally from afar. Just like we are. Ooh, that's a nice little shot where we go from a close-up all the way to a wide shot that then slowly reveals the feet of the leprechaun. That's super cool. They're still looking for this 4-leaf clover. Will they be able to find it? I don't know. We're not gonna find it! Don't give up. You have to have faith, right? Believe. Look at Ozzy. You just gotta believe. See, I told you all this already, Dreadnought. You just gotta believe. Believe. It's not too late. It's never too late to believe. Believe, man. Believe. Believe. Shh. Right, Dreadknights? Believe. You lost your faith. You gotta believe. You got to. Look at him. You know what? You gotta believe like Ozzy. Oh! She said she believed. Look. What's that? Magically shining. Look at that. A light just shining out of nowhere. It's a 4-leaf clover, the luck of the Irish. Now they can finally kill this thing. And we cut back to the little kid character. And he's in the barn setting up the traps, but he doesn't even know the leprechaun's been stalking his every actions at this point. The leprechaun was like 2 steps ahead of this poor dude. Oh! Jump scare leprechaun! Look at him. Sinister smile. Eyes are super wide. Oh, he threw him down. That's not good. Help him. Help him. Help him. Help him. Oh, look, he's going to put his face in the bear trap. Oh, man. Music is escalating. Rising tension yet again. Look at Ozzy. He just burst through the barn door there. It's me you want. Oh, he revealed the fact that he swallowed the coin. Uh-oh. It's me, your belly he's after now. Oh, no, that's bad, Dread Knight. So bad. Oh, he kicked him in the leg. He knew his weakness. He still remember. I like that little bit of continuity. He's got to save Ozzy. Look. Freaking leprechaun's chasing. He even ignored the other people. He's just straight after Ozzy's stomach for that gold coin. Alright. He's going to use the belt buckle as like a freaking knife, man. Alright, he's cutting him up. He's cutting him up. Oh, man. He's literally cutting him up. He's performing surgery with the buckle. But he's not really slicing him. Oh, look at the kid. The kid is putting the shamrock on gum. He's queuing it up on the freaking slingshot. Oh, he slingshot the 4-leaf clover in his mouth. Look, the leprechaun's choking now. Oh, no. Does he got him? Look at him. He's choking. Oh, look at him. He's like bleeding green stuff now. Oh, man. He's dissipating. Is he dead? He's going to choke on the 4-leaf clover. Oh, look. He's melting away like the Wicked Witch of the West. Look at that. He's literally melting like the Wicked Witch of the West. That's so freaking cool. Look at that. All practical special effects, mind you. All practical special effects. Oh, he's melting. He's literally like in the Gremlins. You remember in Gremlins, the original one, when he was exposed to sunlight, the Gremlins? Look, and he fell in the well, and then we see like a whole bunch of like green souls that are dissipating from the well, too. And that's the end of the Leprechaun, Dread Knights. All they had to do was shoot a 4-leaf clover into his mouth. Even though the crazy thing was, there was always a 4-leaf clover in the basement area that had been knocked off the freaking attic, so I don't know, man. We could have avoided a lot of this plot, right? Well, Ozzy managed to save his friend, and he was also able to trick him for the first time. Oh, look! The leprechaun is still coming out of the well, even all melted and stuff. Look at that. He wants his gold. He's not letting anything stop him. Uh-oh. What's Nathan gonna do here? Nathan's running really quickly with a leg injury, mind you. That's continuity here. He hit him with the brunt of the shotgun. Knocked him down. Oh, look at this. He's taking gasoline. Is he gonna burn the well down? What is with everybody just trying to, like, burn stuff down that the leprechaun's in? Even in the beginning of the movie, remember? They had... O'Grady had him in the crate with the 4-leaf clover and then was gonna, like, burn the house down? What is the point of that? Uh-oh. Look at that. Light in the fire. Music is getting whimsical again. How is that gonna... And the well exploded. I don't know how that exactly works. Wouldn't it have made more sense to put the gasoline canister in the well and then light it so it explode? I don't think if you pour regular gasoline into a well that's got maybe water in it, it's just magically going to explode like that. Make it make sense. That I never really understood that part of the end, but it looks like the leprechaun is finally dealt with now. Now, as the morning sun is rising, we get all the cops that are coming for help. It's too late. Typical in all these horror movies. The cops always end up on the scene way, way, way too late. The music is picking up. It's happy. No longer sinister. Look at, we're getting a shot of the well. Fire. We hear the leprechaun again. We won't rest until he gets his gold. Oh, he's gonna find magic spell that breaks the spell of being locked in there. And we cut to the credits. And that is the end of Leprechaun. It was a fun movie. It was a fun movie. I had a lot of fun. I've watched this movie multiple times. I watch it every St. Patrick's Day. Sometimes I watch all of them. We're not going to watch another one. I don't have the time for that today. I just really wanted to do a watch-along. Overall thoughts, it's a good movie. It's campy. It's funny. It's dark comedy. It's not meant to be serious. And it works for what it does. It really, truly works for what it does. You know, Warwick Davis is really what makes the movie because his performance as the Leprechaun, just in facial mannerisms, as well as other things, you know, with his body language, as well as the line delivery that he does. I don't think if you put anybody else in this role, it would have worked at all for it. Then, on top of that, I think Jennifer Aniston, for her very first, like, acting role in a major movie, we use major movie very loosely here, I think she does very well. She plays the character very seriously, very snarky, a lot of body motions that were very good. I don't think her acting was rough whatsoever. Ozzy does a very good job playing a character who is on the autism spectrum. Nathan, not so much. I felt like he's stereotypical. Wasn't very sold on him in terms of the actors acting on that. The little kid is a little kid. He was like a Spitfire and stuff, so that kind of works for everything. The dad, we don't even really know what happened with the dad with the bite. He's just there in the hospital. He didn't have to deal with any of that nonsense, so that's kind of good. And that's basically Leprechaun. I like it. It's like a St. Patrick's Day tradition for me to watch these. Overall, fun movie, a horror movie, nice horror movie, and it's got a lot of comedy. You can laugh out loud. There are sequels to this if you're interested in them. There's Leprechaun 2, which is really, really bad, but it's still not as worse as theirs. There's Leprechaun 3, where Leprechaun goes to Vegas to get his gold back. That one's when they went direct to video, and the quality of the films themselves started to decline. Then there's Leprechaun 4, which is Leprechaun in Space. That one's really, really low budget and very, very direct to video. Then they decided to go a completely different route for the last two films. There's Leprechaun in the Hood, which is where they have the Leprechaun basically in the worst neighborhood possible. I think it's Compton in California. And he's basically dealing with, like, drug dealers and drug peddlers. Oh, wait, correction. That's Leprechaun Back to the Hood. Leprechaun 4, he's dealing with drug dealers in a regular urban city. And Ice Cube plays one of the main characters that was the one that fooled the Leprechaun. Then Leprechaun Back to the Hood, he goes to the Hood yet again. He deals with people in Compton that are, like, drug dealers that stole their gold and are trying to, like, make a living and get out of, like, their hood life. And those ones are not very good either. They're better than Leprechaun 4, that's for sure, but that's not saying much when Leprechaun 4 probably sets the high bar. Like, if you're gonna watch Leprechaun, the original one's good. And the Hood films are completely, like, skippable, in my opinion. But what do I know? I'm just an anime boy on the internet. With that being said, though, that is the very end of our watch-along. Very, very end of our watch-along. I don't really have anything else, really, that I wanted to really discuss here, Dread Knights. I know we end a little bit early because there's a watch-along. Watch-alongs are always like that. I just watched the movie. I give my expert analysis on it. I give my opinion on it. I tell you about the performances. Overall, it was a fun film. I enjoyed that. I will point this out because I know sometimes whenever I do watch-alongs, YouTube, as well as the algorithm, will start to push watch-alongs. I don't do watch-alongs often on the channel. I like to do them, like, at this point for special occasions. I used to do them every Friday night. I stopped doing that just because, like, I don't like to do too much React content. I like to do React content when it's, like, a very, very special occasion. So that's kind of why I don't do really a lot of movie watch-alongs anymore. With that being said, though, I'm gonna call it here. Tomorrow, I have on the schedule that I'm playing Team Fortress 2. That might change. I'm not 100% certain about that just yet, Dread Knights. I might play Team Fortress 2, I might do maybe some Monster Hunter because I haven't played Monster Hunter in a while. Then on Thursday, I'm going to be playing Dead by Daylight on Thursday because the new chapter dropped. So there's the All Kill chapter, that comeback chapter, which is the sequel to the All Kill chapter, which introduces a new survivor as well as the Trickster rework, which should be interesting, as well as the new map. So I'm going to be checking that out on Thursday. Normally do that on Friday, but the reason I'm not doing that on Friday is because on Friday I'm going to be doing a karaoke. So I am going to be singing karaoke songs to bring in spring on Friday. So that is the plan for everything that is basically going on this week. With that being said, though, that is all the time that I have for today. If you watch this video on demand, definitely make sure to give this a like, leave a shamrock icon so I know that you watched it all the way to the end. And everybody else, thanks. I do greatly appreciate it. Most importantly, I appreciate you. And I will see you all tomorrow, most likely for Team Fortress 2. Till next time, guys.